First, we're gonna talk about some of the how you felt March Madness tournament, things like that. Then we'll go into beneath the surface of your life and how you feel about social issues going on in our world today. And yeah, things like that.
Okay.
All right. So I will do the intro now. Hello, everyone. Welcome into WRHU's The Locker Room Diversity in Sports Special Show right here on 88.7 FM, Radio Hofstra University. I'm Tino, and joining me today is men's basketball star, Isaac Kante. Isaac, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So first things first, how are you doing with the coronavirus pandemic right now? Are you staying safe?
Yeah, of course. Always wearing my mask around campus and the facilities and stuff, washing my hands, social distancing.
That's good to hear. Now, speaking of the pandemic, that was what ultimately put an end to your season after qualifying for the NCAA March Madness tournament for the first time in 19 years with Hofstra. And what is your first interview with us since then? Explain what that moment was like when you made the tournament.
It was great, man. It was a great feeling, We worked towards that goal all year, and for it to end like that because of the pandemic, it really sucked. And I really feel bad for our seniors, Elijah Pemberton and DeJour Bowie, because, it was a special moment for them. They've been here 4 years. They didn't make it, and then finally got a chance to make it, and it just all stopped because of the pandemic.
Now, what was that feeling like? You said it really hurt for the seniors, but for yourself personally, like you worked for that goal all year, then to just have it all go away just like that. No one expected it to end like that. How were you able to combat that and really get over that feeling?
It took a lot of time, because it was really a shocker at first, in March, because looking at the news and the media and stuff like that, it was like, okay, probably we'll play with fans and stuff like that. But then, seeing the pandemic, like it was really a serious thing. So I got over it like that, what I'm saying, knowing that the pandemic is a really serious thing and, it's way more important to just stay safe than then just go play basketball.
Now, do you think, obviously we're not too sure when the next season will start, but
Right.
With that being said, how your season ended, does that put a chip on your shoulder, give you any extra motivation going into the new
Absolutely,
season?
absolutely. Even the 5 new guys that are here, we let them know straight up since day one. We're trying to repeat. Go back to the championship and finish where we started.
Would that make things even better for you then, heading back to back times?
Absolutely, way better.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see when you guys get step back on the court. But like I said here on the locker room, we're gonna go beneath the surface a little bit now and take a look into your life and other athletes' life and go beneath the surface and see what makes them special in their own lives. Now I really want to get your thoughts on diversity in our world today. Being a man of color of like yourself, what are your thoughts on how the issues are in our world today and how people can change the way things are going right now?
The issues in the world today, it's kind of, I would say, very disappointing as a man of color. And we need change, and change doesn't start now. It doesn't start tomorrow. It takes time, and really, we all, I feel like all as a society, just need to keep the conversation going with the Black Lives Matter movement and all these movements that's going on. Just keep the conversation going, and it's going to be uncomfortable at times and stuff like that. But you know, we just all have to just take that step. Everyone.
And you mentioned keeping that conversation going. Let's do that right now. After the passing of George Floyd, we have seen many protests, movements in order to combat the social injustices in our world today.
Right.
I saw you posted a picture on your Instagram with the caption that said, quote, "We are Black men. We don't tear down other Black men. We have felt the pain of being torn down, and we have decided we will be deliberate about building others." Can you elaborate on what that means?
So basically, just us as Black men, just building each other up. Stop the hate. Just lead with love. That's all I really meant. And that right there was for every other Black athlete, not only athlete, just Black person male or female, just repost that. Just let the world know. We're here to move on with just love, no hate.
Now, I really love that love no hate mentality of yours. What inspired you to be like that? What was it? Your background? What really formed you into having that mentality?
I would say, yeah, a lot of it comes from family. My mom always just preaches love and peace. So it really stems from that. Um, that's just how I am. That's just my character. I just love peacefulness and happiness and stuff like that.
For sure. Now, throughout your life, being a person of color, like we talked about, are there any key points that stood out to you where you felt unsafe or excluded based off the color of your skin or your background, where you were from?
Yeah, many points in my life. Just being in, just keeping it real here, predominantly white area. I felt like that on a road, especially even driving home from like Long Island back to Brooklyn, just getting stopped by police. Everyone has their story about police and stuff like that. But getting stopped by police, you have that conversation with your parents. As a black child, what to do, keep your hands on the steering wheel and stuff like that. So
Now, do you think if you do plan on becoming a parent someday, that's a conversation you will need to have with your children?
I hope not. That's the change we're looking forward to. Just the change in laws, just a change in the mentality about all the stuff that's going on. Hopefully people can learn from this. And we can take the right step moving on forward.
Now, here at Hofstra University, how has your experience been with the diversity and the inclusion, like we talked about thus far?
Uh, I think in like it was April or May around there. We had a diversion and inclusion meeting with athletic director, school president, and stuff, and some athletes were on there, and we all shared our points and just they let us speak out and they listened to us, and I felt like that it's great to know that Hofstra is behind all this and Hofstra is supportive within this movement.
Do you think that's something, the meetings held with the athletic director and people, higher ups even talking about the
Right.
things that need to be talked about? Is that something that needs to happen not just at Hofstra, like in other
Yeah,
colleges or
everywhere. I
other?
feel like it should be everywhere. Sorry to cut you off. I
No,
feel
no,
like it
no.
should be everywhere, because that helps black people with, like in my position, young black people, that are becoming adults and about to move into the world. It helps us, to know that our voice is being heard by the higher ups and stuff like that, and that they're listening and they're willing to, help change.
Now, another question I have for you is, as someone who's myself, I'm not a person of color. I want to try to understand how you feel, how other people feel in the world today, and I want to listen. I want to have these conversations like we're having just now.
Right.
But what more can I do? What more can people not of color do to help and support this movement?
Uh, there are a lot of media outlets out there. People can, I guess, like support and donate and stuff like that, but also keep the conversation going. That's the most important thing. It shouldn't just be like a phase. Like, all right, Black Lives Matter movement, boom, that was here, and then we just all move on. Like, no, it can't just be like that. There has to be some sort of change. Uh, you know, uh, for people that are not of color, what I'm saying. I think it'll be great if they just listen to others, listen to other black people and minorities and stuff like that, speak about their issues so they can really, really sit there and understand their experiences. That helps really a lot, just the listening factor.
Now, you also just mentioned the need for change and listening for that. In the NBA, we saw these issues come to the forefront as well. I know your favorite athlete is LeBron James. He was one of the people who spoke up and was like, I'm not playing again until we get that change. They boycotted playoff games in the NBA, something that's never been done before. What were your thoughts, obviously as a basketball player, but as a fan as well, seeing that happen?
Seeing that right there, I feel like he kind of was right, and I'm gonna just say kind of because another side of me also felt like they should continue playing, and continue letting that message, out there and stuff like that as far as like change because the NBA is a big platform, and I feel like they should use that platform to get their messages out there, like Chris Paul during his interview and Jamal Murray uh, talking about Breonna Taylor and putting her on their shoes and their jerseys and stuff like that, and on the NBA advertising. I feel like those are great things, stuff like that. So they should continue just playing.
And now for you, if when you guys get to play again, is there any way that you can incorporate things like Chris Paul and Jamal Murray did into your own game, into your own lifestyle, and try to bring awareness to these issues as well?
Definitely, I've spoken to some of my teammates, and we heard we can put certain quotes and phrases on our jerseys, and we're looking to do that. Definitely during interviews too. I would like to shed some light on some of the social injustice issues going on in the world today too. So just to keep that conversation going.
And lastly, here, what do you think we can do as a community, as a society, ultimately as a nation, to really change the problems people of color face every day?
Move on with love. I feel like that's the first step. Let go of hate, anger, and all that other stuff. Moving on with love and peacefulness. That's just the best course of action. I feel like violence doesn't solve anything. Just moving on with peace and love. Honestly.
Sounds great to me. Isaac, I appreciate you coming on, talking with me here on the Locker Room Diversity in Sports Special Show, right here on 88.7 FM, WRHU. I'm excited to see you play again. I'm excited to keep the conversation going as well, and stay safe out there.
Thank you so much. You too. Stay safe.
Thank you.